Have you ever wondered what happens to a creator's voice after it's gone? I mean, how do some ideas manage to echo through generations, while others just fade away? So, is that lasting impact just luck, or is it something you can actually build on purpose?
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A creative legacy isn't really about the one-time performance. It's about creating a melody so powerful, so memorable, that people just keep humming it long after you've left the stage. It's all about that resonance.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we're going to anchor this whole idea in a single, powerful moment in history, the last day of John Lennon. Because believe it or not, his final hours hold the key to understanding how a legacy can be engineered.
So on December 8th, 1980, Lennon was just completely immersed in his work. He was in the studio, he was doing interviews, sharing his ideas on peace, he was even connecting one-on-one with a fan. Every single action was about getting his voice out into the world. And then, at 10:50 p.m., that voice was tragically, instantly silenced.
But here's the thing, that's where the story takes a turn. The man was gone, but his work, his message, his voice, it all just kept playing. So you have to ask, why? It's because Lennon didn't just create songs. Whether he consciously knew it or not, he had built a system designed to keep his art circulating.
And that right there, that's probably the most important idea we're going to talk about. A lasting creative impact is almost never an accident. It's not luck, it is a deliberately built structure. It's architecture.
So let's break that down. What does this architecture actually look like? We're talking about building systems, not just writing a book or a song and, crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. First, let's redefine legacy for a second. It's not just a memory. It's the body of work that continues to be useful. It's the stuff that keeps teaching, keeps inspiring, and keeps connecting with people you will never, ever meet. Now, thinking of legacy as a system can feel a little abstract, I get it, but it really boils down to four main parts. First, you need accessible work, the actual stuff, your books, your courses. That work needs to be built on evergreen ideas, principles that are going to last. Then you need your documented voice, the interviews, the essays that capture you. And finally, you need a way to connect it all to people, through things like an email list or a community.
And this gets to a really fundamental truth. Creation without distribution is basically just a private diary. A masterpiece that's locked away in a drawer has zero impact. If you want to build a legacy, your work has to be out there in the world.
So, this all leads us to a practical blueprint. We're calling it the Dakota Framework, inspired by Lennon's story, of course. It's a 5-step plan that any creator can use to start engineering their own legacy.
All right, the framework is a simple 5-step process. First, you record. You got to create the raw material, finish the manuscript. Then you release it, make it accessible. Document is all about preserving your why, the context behind the work. Then you connect, building those channels to an audience. And finally, architect. This is about organizing everything so it can be found and managed long into the future.
This is such a critical mindset shift. Building a legacy is not a passive thing your family deals with after you're gone. It is an active process of engineering. The choices you make and the systems you build today are what will determine the echo you leave tomorrow.
Now, this next idea, this might go against pretty much everything you've ever been taught about creative work. It's a direct challenge to the myth of the one single perfect masterpiece.
You know, we love to romanticize this idea of the one perfect novel or that one flawless album. But the truth is, legacy is almost always the result of a large, cumulative body of work. It's the entire library, not the single book.
I mean, think about it. Lennon didn't leave us one song. He left hundreds. Some were masterpieces for sure, but some were just experiments. Together, though, they created this huge world for people to explore. The sheer volume of his work is a huge part of what ensures its permanence.
This is the stark choice every single creator faces. Chasing perfection can just become a really good excuse for never releasing anything. But it's only the work that's actually in circulation, even if it's imperfect, that has any chance at all to live on.
Okay, so we've covered the why and the what. Let's get into the how. How do you start building this echo, this system, like right now? Here is a simple to-do list for you. And look, the most important step is right at the top. Finish and release. Get your work out there. A legacy literally begins with availability. Then, think bigger. Plan a body of work. Document your philosophy. Start a simple email list. And yeah, start organizing your digital files. These are all real concrete actions you can take this week.
If you remember only one thing from this whole thing, please let it be this. The real death of a creative voice isn't silence, it's obscurity. It's when the work just can't be found. Your job, as the creator, is to be the architect of the lighthouse that guides people straight to it.
So, I'll leave you with this question to really think about. Look at your own work, your own process. What systems are you building right now? When your active voice eventually goes silent, what have you architected that is going to keep on speaking for you?